Hey guys, what's going on? I bought this type of books off Facebook Marketplace a while ago. It was definitely a gamble. The listing was kind of weird. There was only one picture. It was blurry. It was taken in a basement, which is a big red flag. But there was obviously Dungeons and Dragons stuff in there, so I figured it was worth the risk. Let's see if it was. I bought this a while ago. It's been sitting around. I haven't had time to go through it. I did use a few of these to round out the last 100 book restock video, so it may look familiar. Beautiful D&D guide, 1985, I believe, so peak Stranger Things era. I am noticing a stain in it for the first time, but probably par for the course with D&D manuals that are this old. Probably seen this picture before. Classic D&D right here. 1978, pre-Stranger Things era. Wow. This one looks a little more modern. Advanced D&D manual. Yeah, 1992, color edition. Beautiful books. Not sure if I'm gonna lot these all up or what. The Complete Ninja's Handbook. I remember showing this in the other video. Not the most appealing book to look at, but very collectible. Got good information about how to be a ninja in there, I imagine. It cost $20 back in 1995. We'll see if it's gone up or down in value. And here's a little supplemental adventure. Cleric's Challenge. I love these kind of things. I can imagine going into the game store and just buying this, 1 or 2 day adventure. It is falling apart, unfortunately. Maybe this will start my book repair journey. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Actually, I think this is meant to come apart because there's no indication of binding between these two elements. But I've been wanting to do it for a while. I worked at a library where I did it, and it's not that hard. You just need glue and a brush and some kind of binding agent, because I did notice a few pages of one of those was coming out. That'd be fun. Maybe make for some good content too, or at least some good end screen montage. Now here we go. This one did not stand up as well. It's the Forgotten Realms one, a little bit newer. I don't know how this happens to a book. Chewed on by some sort of rodent maybe. It's extremely worn. Extremely worn. Luckily, this is not how they all are, but easily with this gamble, this could have been how they all looked. And it would have been a loss for sure, because I don't like selling stuff in this kind of condition. I mean, sure, I could take good pictures of it, and it is what it is, and if someone wants it for that price, then they can buy it with the full knowledge of what it looks like, but it's kind of nasty, I guess, ultimately. All right, we got some R.A. Salvatore. I could have guessed that. I've sold a lot of this guy's books in the past, and it looks like I will be selling some more. With these kind of books, oh my God, it's signed. Wow, I wish I could read R.A. Salvatore's handwriting, but he gave a little personal message to Aaron, who I did see that name in some of these rule books, so definitely same owner. I was just about to say, with these books, condition really matters. First edition really matters, so I imagine a signature would really matter. So that is awesome. And it looks like there's some more R.A. Salvatore books. No, this is Terry Brooks. Another likely suspect in a box full of D&D manuals. I got my hopes up now. Not signed. First edition though, I don't know anything about Terry Brooks. There is a very odd stain on that book, which is not a great sign. But oh well, this is all kind of gravy after those D&D manuals. Here we go. Here's another R.A. Salvatore. We will see if he brought all of his books to sign. Probably not. That would be kind of rude to stand in line and then dump like 10 books on the guy's table. And no, it is not signed. This I'm excited for. The box is absolutely falling apart. It may disintegrate in my hands. Menzoberranzan, we'll say. It's a box, it's a game, it's a secondary D&D adventure. I'm not sure. You can maybe hear it just crumbling to ashes in my hands. A lot of stuff inside of here. Yeah, look at that. Hanging on by a thread. Got a lot of like fold out maps. There's so many. Let's unfold one of these. Supplemental material. Ephemera, I think is what you call this. Last time I had something like this, I called it paraphernalia, and people thought I was talking about drugs. I didn't think drugs had the monopoly on the word paraphernalia. I use that pretty openly, but maybe they do. But this is ephemera. Ah, here we go. Here we go. 1992. Here we got Matron Mother Q. Willis Milithor. That's some supplementary material. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, here's who I would be. The house wizard. Quertos. Not the most aggrandizing picture of this guy. But that's noble. You know, he's just a house wizard. But this will require some research. But, I mean, it's fun research. Learning the history of D&D. And this is beat. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I see. This was the inside flap that got mangled. And what is happening here? I don't know. All right, what do we got here? TSR, Wizard's Spell Compendium. Another one that's kind of bland on the cover. And it's got these weird wear patterns. But actually, I think that is just the design. I've encountered a few books where they're designed to look worn. And it's hard to take pictures of them where that is made clear. There's another game called The Council of Worms. I've been interested to open this one up. This one was well loved though. Someone did their research. Oh my lord. Someone really did their research on the rules of this game. It's nice when you have a dedicated rules person that would go through the ordeal of highlighting the rule book to make sure that they got it right. There, that's the front of it. It was bent back. It's in pretty good condition besides everything else. Got a fold out map. Io's Blood Island Chain. That's a big one. Oh yeah. These are gonna require a lot of picture taking as well, and not my normal little book nook. I'm gonna have to go for some wide angle shots here. Neat stuff though. It's like it's a coloring book or something. Whoever wanted to play the half dragon character, there you go. And a dragon size chart. This will be useful information. Probably hard to figure out exactly what's going on there. I mean, that could be worth like $1,000. It could be worth $5. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna flash some prices on the screen, but not all of them, because I hate attributing a financial value, a monetary value to these things, because you know that's not all I see them as. It's not just, well, this equals $25 to me. This stuff's cool. I love being able to dig through someone's childhood. Sounds kind of vampire-ish, but I guess that's what I'm doing, right? The classic Margaret Weiss, Cherry Hickman stuff, Well of Darkness. I see these books all the time. Generally not particularly valuable, but always dragons. Now I gotta go through every one, try to find a signature. No, it is first edition though. And it's in pretty good condition. I gotta bend that spine back into alignment. Other than that, good condition. And David Eddings, this guy had them all. The full smorgasbord of fantasy cornerstones. Another thick hardcover. They all have maps on the front, better believe. All right, we got another box here. Planescape Companion Setting. A different RPG from Dungeons & Dragons, maybe. Let's take a look. Could be anything in here. Monstrous Compendium. I love looking through the bestiaries of these different games. Well, open up right to the succubus. Can't show you guys that one. Ooh, a Dretch. Poor looking guy. Probably not the hardest monster to fight. Gives you some kind of biological debuff or something. Guys look like these little dudes from Hercules, the Disney one. Obviously some sort of underworld RPG where you descend into hell or something. Very cool. Yeah, here you go. There's the hero of light, of heaven, of good. Oh, you can be a harmonium, like Sirens of Titan. That's exciting. This is just a poster of all the different insignias for the races or the beings or something. Interesting. It's like a huge place. And on the back you got some like MC Escher print. I think Stranger Things has definitely given you the idea of what the stuff was like in the 80s without the internet, where this was your one portal into another world. Of course there were books. You know, this is Bookjack Channel. I know books are the original escapism, but this offered you the whole multimedia experience that the internet has kind of taken and snowballed to an insane degree. Flying monkeys. Oh, if you got flying monkeys, that's got to be valuable. Definitely the most complete, the most mint condition one here, which I guess means is the one that was played the least, but some cool illustration for sure. All right, back to R.A. Salvatore. I have actually sold this particular book before, so it is not signed, but you know, I can't have my expectations be that every one of these is signed. Okay, we're maybe breaking away from the fantasy. Unfortunately, Battle for the American Mind. D&D books and political books? Quite the divergence, but I mean, it's in good condition. The Bookjack eBay store does not discriminate. Oh, here we go. Back to R.A. Salvatore, thank God. The Hunter's Blade trilogy, book 1. So very likely we'll have the full trilogy, and this was the one that was signed. So I'm going to say very likely that this one is signed. It's going to get my hopes up for no reason, and it is not signed. Oh well. All right, some more D&D manuals. These look a little more modern. I assume not as valuable, but time will tell. Oh, look at this. It's an ad for that game, Council of Worms. It all comes together. Keep coming. Oh, here's the monster manual. I could sit here and flip through this for a while. It would be very entertaining for you guys, I'm sure. Oh, elephant. What, you gotta kill an elephant? I like how there's all these crazy things, and it's just elephant. Armor class of 6. I guess that makes sense. How does a yellow dragon have an armor class of 0? A metallic dragon has an armor class of -3. Dinosaur. Dinosaur has an armor class of 6. Crabman has an armor class of 4. Damn, look at this guy. I would not want to fight him. That's the one where you gotta find the weak spot underneath the neck or something. I wonder if they have a manticore in here, because I was kind of confused as to what exactly it was. They do. The manticore is a true monster with a leonine torso and legs, bat-like wings, and a man's head. A tail tipped with iron spikes, and of course an appetite for human flesh. That was the title of one of the last books I read in my last video, if you want to go watch my review. Awesome book. Okay, now here is the stack of all of those manuals. Wow. I think this gamble paid off. I think we're officially there. Sages and Specialists. Again, these aren't the most appealing to look at. These are all Dungeon Master's guides, I guess, that tell you more information about a very specific aspect of the game. Complete Psionics Handbook. Here's the picture they give you for psionics. Interesting. You'd imagine it'd just be like some wizard throwing out a mind dart, but it's kind of a new age spirituality thing. Interesting. Complete Priest's Handbook. I might end up selling these as a lot because there's so many of them. And here's the picture they give you for priests. Wow, a lot going on there. Frazetta, Eat Your Heart Out. Fighting like a big elephant creature. There's the elephant, armor class 6. So good luck piercing that with any kind of a priest weapon. The Complete Book of Humanoids. There we go. I guess I gotta show some of the fan service that some of these books are definitely offering the players of D&D. The Complete Book of Elves. These are in mostly good condition. You can tell a lot of them are a little bent up. I haven't been smelling these books, uh-oh. No smell. No discernible smell, at least on this one. But I definitely got to go through these because they were in a basement, confirmed by the guy when I went to meet him. The Complete Thief's Handbook. Probably would be a banned book here today. A lot of these handbooks, like, I'm not going to tell you how to have psionic abilities. Actually, I just started reading The Star Is My Destination by Alfred Bester, and it begins with humans discovering the ability to teleport themselves anywhere, and how much of a nightmare that would be if suddenly that happened. And how they would have to limit the knowledge of that in order for society to withstand it. So a lot of these handbooks, not information you want to... I'm waiting. Oh, here it is. The Complete Book of Necromancers. That's what I was thinking. Which one of these is going to tell you how to raise the dead? And then if that information was readily available out there, it'd be a rough time. I haven't gotten very far in The Star Is My Destination yet, but I'm liking it. It has that vintage sci-fi feel, but the story is moving. The Complete Book of Gnomes and Halflings. Wow. Did them dirty. Put them in the same book. Elves have their own book, but gnomes and halflings, what? They're small enough where you can shove them in the same book? That's not right. And of course, it's a rogue. They always pigeonhole the gnome to be a rogue. That's how it goes. Now here's something different. Ravenloft, official game accessory. I guess it's another one like the Cleric's Challenge, this one-off adventure, some sort of a spooky Halloween gargoyle graveyard setting. Werewolf theme, that's what they're doing here. Heavy werewolf theme. Very cool, but in really bad condition. Very faded. I'm not sure how a book becomes this faded, because it obviously wasn't in the light. It was in this tote for a while. I'm not sure. All right, I think this is the last D&D rulebook here. Another one in kind of rough condition. Player's Handbook, 2nd edition. Looks pretty modern. And is gonna need some work. Yeah, I gotta go out and get some book glue. Okay, what else do we got in here? American Soldier, General Tommy Franks. Interesting. Like nonfiction and Dungeons and Dragons. That's not a mixture I would have anticipated. The most potent escapism, and then a thick book about a general from the Iraq War. Strange. And very similar, 1776, you see this one all the time. I want to say this is like a mixture of father and son's collection. That makes the most sense to me. And here it is, the last book in the Hunter's Blade trilogy, got the whole set. That is a relief. And not signed, just the first one that was signed. But I do think this is worth something, because I've sold it before in paperback, and I think that was like 15 or 20 bucks. And again, the people that like R.A. Salvatore, the people that buy this kind of stuff, they're in it for the collection. They want the hardcover. They want the 1st edition hardcover. The day the American Revolution began. Yeah, here we go. Continuing this nonfiction history mix. Who knows? These books might sell. In decent condition. Deckled edge. It's always a good sign. Oh, here we go. Neil Gaiman, American Gods. Amazing book. I want to say one of my favorite books of all time, but I couldn't put it on my top 10 sci-fi because it's not science fiction. So I guess I got to make a top 10 all-time general books. And this one's signed. Another signed book. Yeah, there it is. Signed American Gods. It's exciting. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, these two books are stuck together, which is not a good sign. Let's just do it here. Ugh. It did tear, but here it is. Trump of the American Future. Damaged now. Not sure this would have made it to my eBay store anyways. A Republic, Not an Empire by Patrick Buchanan. Starting to see a new trend here that oftentimes does coincide with the history obsession. But just as I say that, we got another outlier here. Just Tyrus, a memoir. George Tyrus, the realest, most blunt human being on the face of planet Earth. That's a quote from Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's bodyguard. Snoop Dogg's bodyguard and Trump. Founding Fathers, okay, that kind of lines up. Got that. Might sell these as a lot. Just they all are very similar. Would be enjoyed by the same person. Back to the fantasy. Thank God. More Weiss and Hickman. And like I said, there's a dragon, dead center. They all have to have their spines adjusted a little bit though. Got some work to do before I actually sell these. So they won't be on my eBay store probably when you're watching this video. But if you want to follow me on eBay, then you'll be notified when they are put up if you're interested in buying any of these books. And here is a very interesting piece of information. The bookmark here is from a correctional facility. What I imagine to be like a hall pass for a correctional facility. And I did see another hall pass in one of these books. So, this person spent some time behind bars, which kind of makes sense because I have heard that a lot of inmates like this thick fantasy because you probably want some escapism if you're there, and these books take a long time to read, and you have a lot of time. So yeah, Hickman, Eddings, R.A. Salvatore, D&D probably too. I wonder if there's a lot of D&D groups going on in prison. Probably. That makes sense. The Vacant Throne, Ed Greenwood. Here's one I have not heard of, actually. But I can probably safely assume that it is epic fantasy. Oh, there's a nice note inside of this one. I'm not going to read it out loud because that might come across kind of weird, but take a minute to read that and just imagine the nice couple that existed out there at some point in time and the nice night that they had at some point in time. I like to see that. I'm not going to keep it because that would be weird, but throwing it out makes me feel bad, so what do I do with that? Maybe I'll just hide it in one of the books that I sell so that someone can imagine that they discovered it themselves and not that it's a note that I am delivering to them. All right, R.A. Salvatore again, book 1 of another series of his that I didn't know existed. The second Demon Wars saga. Man, this guy wrote a lot of books. First edition. All right, and lastly, an enormous bag of dice. And when I say enormous, that's full of dice. Chock full of dice. Not sure if people buy those. And this was someone's dice bag, you know, and like original, you could tell it's yellowed and frayed. And a pen exploded in there at one point. This is sacred to the dungeon master that once had this. So, gotta figure out something to do with a lot of dice. And also the bottom of this thing is filled with glitter. Luckily the books didn't have any glitter in them, so the glitter must have existed before the books were put in there. So yeah, there you go. Interesting find. I think the gamble paid off, which is exciting. Like I said, my eBay store needs a restock, so that's where a lot of these books are headed. And my bank account needs a restock too, so hopefully that is the end result of all this. As always, thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.